The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, for the 66th time in a row, 90 days of boxing, day 66 once again. Listen, man, it may get hard, it may get a bit difficult, may get a bit arduous, but you know what? Come hell or high water, like I told you guys, every day I'm gonna give you a live here on True School Sports, and so far so good. We're officially now 2/3 the way through it, and I feel like I'm a significantly different person now, 66 days in, than I was before we started. So it's good to be here again. Shout out to everybody here. If you guys don't notice, excuse the setup. I'm in a bit of a different setup because I had to rent a hotel room for the night because the AC in my house went out, and my house like a hot box, and it's not even like good for my health nor my family's health to be in the house. So for the time being, we'll be in this nice little hotel talking boxing. So if y'all got any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Um, Tomorrow night is gonna be the last live I do on here before I go to the West Coast. So guys, I got good news for the viewers of True School Sports. Y'all want to hear some good news? Cause I got some good news for you guys. And by the way, guys, please smash that like button. There's 7 people here, but I don't see no likes, so don't be stingy. Smash that like button so the YouTube algorithms push this out to as many people as possible. But some good news for you guys. For the fans of Pops, do we have any fans of Pops? Let me know in the chat. Are there any fans of my dad? Do any of you guys get enjoyment out of my dad being live when it's just him for the fights? Yes or no in the comments. Let me know. You know, we here, the untouchable True School Sports Empire. Let me know where you're watching from too. Let me know what city, what state, what continent, all that good stuff, man. But listen, for those of you out there who enjoy my dad and enjoy watching him go live, he will be live every day. So Wednesday through Saturday he'll be live. So he'll be live for Walter Sardorno. He'll be live Thursday just to talk. Friday he'll be live for Valdez versus Liam Wilson, and then Saturday he'll be live for Fandora versus Zeus. So Pop's gonna put in most of the work this week because I really do need a bit of a rest, and I'm gonna be traveling and get my interview, so it's the perfect time, and I'll be back live on Sunday. So yeah, if y'all like Pops, it's gonna be 4 days of Pops. So get your popcorn ready, because you know Pops always comes with that fire. You guys know he always comes with that energy. But shout out to everybody here. We got Enrique Luna in the building. He says, "Let's go, Pops." Pops holding it down. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pops holding it down. And then you guys know that there's gonna be a whole smorgasbord of content when I'm out west. You guys know that I generally tend to put out some of my best content when I'm in Vegas, when I'm not in the friendly confines of South Florida, and I'm not comfortable. So I'm excited about it, man. I'm excited. But let's talk some boxing as far as the news, because I was going ahead and I was just like scanning through the news about an hour ago. I see that your boy Carlos Adames. Carlos Adames wants to move up to super middleweight to face Edgar Berlanga. So make of that what you will. He can't get no shots in the 160 division, so we can't get no shots in the 160 division. And we know that Canelo ain't fighting Berlanga just yet. Why not? Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. Could we get at least one Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico matchup in the boxing? Because it's so fun in baseball with the World Baseball Classic. Subliminity Matias had a chance to do that, but he couldn't come to the agreement with Michelle Rivera or Ellis Rodriguez. So could we get a chance could we get it, at least somewhere in boxing? I think it'd be good to see Puerto Rico versus DR at the championship level, or at least the high, contender level of boxing. We got my man Daniel Rubin in the building. He says, "Where you at, BT?" I'm in a hotel right now because I had to leave my house for about a day or two, because I think it's a day. I'm not sure if it's gonna be 2, but it's at least for tonight, because the AC in my house completely went out, and I guess it's been out for a couple of days, and I didn't even realize it. So we're getting that fixed right now, and so for the time being, I'm in the friendly confines of this hotel room, just chilling, making sure that the 90 days of boxing streak continues, talking to lovely people like yourself. And Wednesday I'll be in Arizona. Wednesday night I'll be in Arizona, so should be a lot of fun. But I'll be seeing you soon, Dan. April the 10th, I'll be seeing you out there in Plant City. Shout out to KO. He says, "You think Munguia has a chance?" He's got a chance only because how, like I've said in all the other lives, he's got a chance because of how Canelo fights. Canelo Alvarez is a fighter that at 168, He's fallen in love with his power, and he fights in spurts. So Munguia is going to have his chances, I think, to overwhelm him, especially with Canelo being a little bit up there and having a lot of wear and tear on the body. But he's going to need to make some improvements defensively, because if his defense hasn't improved at all, and we get the same level of defense we saw in the John Ryder fight, then I just don't foresee things going too well for Mr. Munguia. And I think Canelo will prevail. I think Canelo will ultimately beat Munguia, but it's not no. I don't think he's just gonna walk right through him because of how he fights. KO, now shout out to my man KO Seguro 13. He's making a point that I make all the time. He said, I think once Canelo retires, I think we are going to have better boxing cards. Listen, with or without Canelo, there's always good boxing cards and there's always not so good boxing cards. But I think whoever gets handed that responsibility of being one of the faces of boxing, because I don't like to get into the whole face of boxing debate, but he's been one of the ambassadors of boxing, and I think when you look at some of the things that have happened in his tenure as one of the biggest names in the sport, you know, with like, I remember when he fought Kovalev and he had to wait for Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor to finish, which that would never happen under Floyd's watch. That because Floyd was the main attraction. Floyd was the guy that generated the eyeballs. But under Canelo's watch, you know, we've had that happen. We've had him be able to hold the whole division up and barely fight guys in his weight class to defend the belt. So I just think, like, look, man, he's a good fighter. He's been good for the industry for the most part. Not always, but for the most part, someone taking he's been good. But yeah, I'm looking forward to like life after Canelo, just being honest, because then the thing is, fighters and promoters in boxing has been getting real lazy, so guys just want to call them out, like Crawford and these kind of guys. So it'd be good for people to not have a guy like that in the sport, so that they can carve out their own legacy and make their own value and actually have a real career. Because a lot of these guys, especially guys at 60, 68, 54, over the years of Canelo, even some of the guys I liked, they never had real careers. And part of that, not all of it, but part of that was Canelo's presence in the division with the money he presents. So that's just how I'm seeing it. What do you guys think? And let me know where you guys are watching from. I'm here in South Florida. I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm actually in the town. You know, I'm just a kid from Dania, but I'm barely ever in Dania these days. I'm barely ever in Dania Beach these days, but that's where I'm at right now. I'm actually back home, my original hometown, Dania Beach. So good to be back in the town. Even if it's for a night, good to be back in the town. But yeah, man, it's officially fight week for Oscar Valdez, Liam Wilson. Gonna be a good fight. I know that Liam Wilson's coming to win. I know that for Valdez, this is really a big time fight in his career. You know, he wins this fight, he's right back into the world title picture. Liam Wilson was this. You know, all of a sudden, Australia got another one. They got another guy in the division. Another guy in boxing that can fly that flag high. So, big fight there. You got that. You got Seniesa Estrada in a legacy-defining fight against Joe Cavalla. I'm excited to go to this fight. I'm excited to be in Arizona for this card. And I'm looking forward to seeing how everything pans out. You know? Shout out to my guy, DJ. He says, I'm watching from Australia. Shout out to all the Aussies. Got a lot of love for the Australians and the Australian people. The Aussies have been very, very good to me. And I look forward to, you know, going to Australia. God knows when. It could be this year. We don't know. We don't know where this boxing journey takes us. I could be anywhere. You know, this week it'll be Arizona and Vegas. Following week it'll be, you know, still Vegas, and then it'll be Florida again, and then you know, Japan, and then we'll see. He says, "Let's go! Stars 2, Panthers 1. Hope everything's good, my guy. Hit me up, kid, when you want to try out another one of those. Try out again on a $50 bet. I got you, champ. Yeah, man. I was. You know, it's funny. Ever since I played with because normally when I play that game, I play with my created team, so I'm used to playing with better players. But I got off to a bad start. I should have won. It is what it is. You win some, you lose some. I ain't losing again. So we'll run it back one of these lives. We'll definitely run it back. But good to see you, Philippians 4:13. Hope all is well. Speaking of the Panthers, I actually be at the Panthers game tomorrow night. I'll be watching the Panthers versus the Boston Bruins as they play for the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference tomorrow. One of the biggest games in hockey, one of the top rivalry games in hockey. So looking forward to that. It'll be my last night here in South Florida before we start to really get to work and go to the West Coast and get you guys that world class creme de la creme, top shelf boxing content. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy my time here. But yeah, good to see you, Philippians 413. You know, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Even go live 66 days in a row, which I still can't believe I've really done this 66 days in a row. He says, yeah, get your butt over here. Yeah, for sure, man. I'm praying maybe this year, like, because I know I'll be in Japan, and who knows? I know a lot of times, the flight from Japan to Australia isn't like as much as I thought it'd be, so it's very doable. So I'm keeping my options open when it comes to Australia. And then he says, Philippians 4:13. He says, take care, brother. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate all your contributions and stuff, man. Like, people like you are what keeps this channel going. People like you are the reason why I'm going to Arizona and Vegas to cover these fights, and people like you are why I get these great interviews, people, when I'm in these kind of positions. So thank you so much for everything over the years, and God willing, hopefully one day we cross paths at a fight or something, or I go to Kentucky or something. I don't know, but hopefully one day, man. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for showing up. A lot of times I don't want to come on these lives because I'm in a bad mood. Life. You imagine one day life is good and then the AC breaks and your house is like a hot box. So I've had a crazy day today. Doing errands, checking into hotels, but you guys make it worth it. So get your questions in, man. I know a lot of us are excited about this weekend. Alex M says, I'll be attending Canelo Cinco de Mayo weekend. I'll be in Vegas. I don't know yet. The initial plan was for me to go to Vegas for that week, but something came up. Something else in boxing came up to where I might not be able to make it to Vegas that week. So stay tuned. When I know what I'm doing for that week, I'll let you guys know. But if what I think is gonna happen doesn't happen, I'll be in Vegas that week. So yes, sir. Let me see, what else going on in boxing, man. I know they're talking about Tim Tszyu versus Terrence Crawford. I saw that in the news. Glenn Jennings, the manager at Tim Tszyu, officially confirmed that they're in negotiations. So that's not really news. We've known that. We've known that for sure for a little bit of time now. Listen, Tim Tszyu just got to go in there and do the business. Obviously, I'm not gonna sit here and disrespect Sebastian Ventura. He's gonna come to fight, even if I don't think he's gonna present the biggest challenge in the world for Tszyu just because of how he fights. He's gonna come to fight, and he's still Tim Tszyu still gotta take care of business. So, granted, if he can do that, that sets the stage for a big fight between Terrence Crawford and Tim Tszyu. One of the biggest fights that could be made in boxing, I think. Because Terrence Crawford's become a lot bigger in the last year or so following the Earl Spence win. Tim Tszyu got a country behind him. He's become a lot bigger after over these last 3 or 4 fights. So, yeah, man, it's definitely a great time to be a boxing fan, I feel. Let me see. I like you because you're fair in your comments. I try to be, man. And listen, I got favorites like some of you guys got favorites. I'm a fan just like you guys. Obviously, I cover the sport, and there's some other things I'm about to get into in boxing, but I'm still, at the end of the day, I'm still a fan of boxing, right? So I try to always maintain that love for the sport and just not get so emotionally invested in one fighter, unless it's a fighter that I know, and even then, it's like you still gotta maintain some level of objectivity. But thank you, appreciate it. BT, nobody gives Tim Tszyu a chance against Bud. What are your thoughts? Listen, man, Terrence Crawford is 36 years old. And I understand that Terrence Crawford lives that life of a fighter. I fully understand that Terrence Crawford is that of a true professional. I can't ever say that Terrence Crawford isn't a true professional, because he is a true professional. He's a great fighter. But I feel like Tim Tszyu has the catch and counter style that to where if Terrence isn't careful, we know Terrence likes to be on the inside and exchange. Even though he could probably box at range and maybe outbox people, he doesn't. He likes to go in there and be the apex predator. And my thing is, if you're fighting a guy like Tim Tszyu, who himself is an apex predator, you may find yourself in a dangerous position. So I would give Tim Tszyu a great chance. He's been one of the most active fighters in the world. He's extremely well conditioned. He's an educated counter puncher, and he's only getting better fight by fight, seeing these different styles. So Yeah, I wouldn't rule him out at all. And his activity and his continuous improvements are why I want to see him in these fights against Chase Athletics. What's good? Chevy says the untouchable True School Sports Empire. Yes, sir. Philadelphia in the building. Shout out to you, man. How is everything? DJ says get your timing right for your visit. Goodman versus Inoue in December, hopefully. Yeah, man. I'm not planning on going to Japan that late in the year. I'm planning to go to Japan like in late July or early August. So that's where I'm gonna be at. That's when I'll probably be in Japan around that time. And I'm praying to God, like whether it's Ken Shiro or whether it's Kosai Tanaka, I hope one of those guys winds up fighting so I can go to the fight, and because I know them both pretty well. It'd be pretty easy to go to their fights. So hopefully that winds up playing itself out. Let's see. How about Campbell Hatton? You know, it's very easy this week to shit on Campbell Hatton because Campbell Hatton has been, coddled by Eddie Hearn and hyped up to no end by Eddie Hearn due to the fact that he's Ricky Hatton's son. I actually watched that fight where he lost. I didn't think he fought that bad. I thought actually it was one of it. Believe it or not, even in a loss, I thought it was Campbell Hatton's one of his better performances, and I actually thought he's improved a little bit. So look, I never thought of him to be anything close to his dad. So I didn't have the expectation or hype, or I wasn't drinking that Kool-Aid of Campbell Hatton. But listen, man, credit to him. He did the best he could with what he has. He came up short. He can come again. I got nothing bad to say about Campbell Hatton. He's working hard to try to improve, like we all are in life. So, I look forward to seeing how he makes an adjustment. I know the guy he fought, I think his name was Flynn. What was his last? I forgot his name, but the guy he lost to, I'm sure they want to do a rematch because that fight was for the Central Area title, and I thought that it was a fight that was of higher caliber than a Central Area title fight. So credit to both of them. What's the biggest upset in boxing you can remember in your teen or adult years? The biggest upset in boxing? There's been quite a few of them, man. I would definitely say, if I want to go like way, way back, I'll say Jason Litzau versus Celestine Caballero. Celestine Caballero was a fighter that was on the pound-for-pound list, and Jason Litzau was a nobody. He was just this white guy, whatever fighter. He beat Celestine Caballero, who I think was like number 8 on Ring Magazine pound for pound. So that's one that comes to mind. More recently, like Andy Ruiz with Anthony Joshua was a big one. I covered that one on here. Last year, I thought what was that fight? Adrian Courier versus Nochingo won. Big upset. Masamichi Ibuki versus Ken Shiro won. Huge upset. Adrian Granados versus Amir Imam, 2015 upset of the year. So those are a couple of the upsets that come to mind off top. But there's been just so many. I'm sure if I were to really sit here and think about it for hours on end, I could come up with a lot. But those are like 4 off the top. BT, how do you see Keyshawn Davis versus Artem Harutyunyan? I like that fight. A lot of people, they gave Frank Martin a hard time for not just blitzing Artem Harutyunyan. But Artem Harutyunyan's a good fighter. I believe he was, I could be wrong, but I think he was a gold or silver medalist. Big Olympic background, big amateur pedigree, tough as nails. I like that fight for Keyshawn at this stage. That's the kind of fight he needs at this stage. And it's a common opponent with Frank. Frank is a guy that Keyshawn's been linked to fight before, so that could be a fight they revisit down the line. And if that's the route that Top Rank is trying to go for Keyshawn, maybe trying to get a Frank Martin fight for later on, fighting a common opponent is a good step in the right direction, I feel. So, the Boxing Scholar, good to see you, champ. What's good? How you doing? Hope all is well with you. Mendoza over Fundora was an upset. It was an upset, but in my opinion, it wasn't no big upset because I thought Brian Mendoza was more than good enough to beat Fundora. But to most people, yeah, it was a big upset. Not to me because I know the kind of work Brian Mendoza puts in the gym, and I knew how much he had improved from seeing it. So it wasn't a big surprise to me when he beat Fundora. But man, he hit his ass, and this weekend's the first time we've seen Fundora since. So I'm really intrigued to see, like, win, lose, or draw of Fundora. I'll say this. I'm really intrigued to see, like, where is he at right now? What kind of performance is he about to turn in? That's really, to me, one of the most interesting storylines of the weekend is what kind of Fundora are we going to get? You know, can we get a different Fundora? You know, could he have added anything from then till now into his skill set? Because generally speaking, you can drill things in the gym as much as you want, but until you get under the lights and put that into action with those 8-ounce gloves on, it's a much different story. So I don't expect to see that much of a different Fundora. And my thing is, if we see the same Fundora, anything close to what we've been seeing, I don't foresee that being a big problem for a guy like Tim Tszyu, honestly. But we'll see. As I always say, they fight the fights for a reason. Don't you think Junto Nakatani must beat Tomoki Inoue first before he can fight his brother? Don't you mean Takuma? I think Junto. Listen, yeah, Takuma, they're in the same weight class. Make the fight happen. Why not? I think they could beat him, violate his brother. You know, like everybody wants to violate Takuma Inoue in the division. They all see him as easy pickings because they're comparing Takuma to his brother. But yeah, that would be the natural progression. You know, unify 118, fight Takuma Inoue in the process, and go ahead and go catch the big fish. Go catch the monster. That's gonna be the biggest fight in the history of Japanese boxing if it ever comes off. Can Matias beat Devin for undisputed at 140? I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, Matias is no easy. Matias is no easy pickings for anybody, and I'm just waiting for one of the champions to fight him. I know I give Matias a lot of shit recently, a lot of some criticism, you know, mild, not even big criticism, mild criticism about him not fighting the Dominicans, you know, because he was offering these guys, you know, money that wasn't, in my opinion, money that wasn't appropriate for world championship attitude. And people got mad at me for that, but yeah, the champions haven't wanted to fight him, and he's got a legitimate grip with that. I'm hoping, look, if Devin beats Ryan, I hope Devin starts looking in the direction of a guy like Matias, because Matias is a fighter that is an exciting fighter. Matias is a fighter that has a growing fan base. So it'll be a chance for Devin to not just get another title, but even grow his fan base a little bit. Get some of the Puerto Rican fans. But I think it'd be a good fight, you know. Matias puts intelligent pressure on fighters. He's physically strong. You know, could Devin outbox him and keep him off at bay for 12 rounds? That'd be very fun to see. And I think Matias would give him a good fight. Devin says he wants undisputed. Well, we'll see, man. We'll see. A lot of fighters say things, and when push comes to shove, we don't quite know what's what. So we'll see how it goes with Devin. Al the Pal, what's good, champ? What it do? Shout out to you, man. I'm just chilling right now. Just you know, we're in a bit of a new setup today because the AC in my house went out, so it's like a hot box in there. It's just hot as hell. You can barely breathe, and so yeah, just thugging it out in the hotel till the AC gets fixed. And Wednesday I'll be going to Arizona for the fight. So just chilling, man. Just late night. The regular, customary late night stream for you guys, just talking boxing, taking questions, talking that shit, you know, just having fun. Al, I'll be at Oscar Valdez, Liam Wilson. That's the same card that's Nisa Estrada and Yokovai is on. So I'll be out there for that. And then that's on Friday. I get there Wednesday night, so I'll be covering the weigh-in and then the actual fight. And then Saturday morning, I'm getting on a plane and I'm going right to Vegas. And then Saturday night, I'll be at Tszyu versus Fundora. So got a full slate, action-packed week, and then that'll lead into the following week where I'll be covering the Diego Pacheco Richard Hitchens fight. So just a busy week, and I'll probably go to a couple of gyms in Vegas too while I'm over there. So things are gonna really pick up, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the channel. I'm excited to see these views go up. I'm excited to see to get more content, man. Like this is what I love doing, and I'm so grateful because, guys, I'm telling you, like them years 2020, 2019, 2021. I remember, man, I used to walk around like really discouraged sometimes, and that's why sometimes I wouldn't go live very often. I was just discouraged about the fact that I wasn't where I wanted to be, and it's just like, when you stick with what you want, and you have faith and you work hard and you don't listen to what nobody says, like as far as like critics or naysayers or people that don't believe in your dreams, it goes to show you, in due time, God always rewards diligent people. So that's what's happening. That's what's unfolding right now before your guys' eyes. So just really happy about that. You know, we're gonna be at what, 4 fights in about, what is it, 29, 27 to the 10th. So what is that? About 4 fight cards in 2 weeks. So gonna be a lot of boxing to cover. He says Pro Box, pretty good card. Yeah, man. I know you got Nicholas Walters taking on Joseph Adorno. That's a fight that Pops be live for. If you got, by the way, for those of you who weren't here earlier, if you didn't hear what I said earlier, because I'm going to Arizona and I'm gonna be very busy getting content and stuff like that, Pops is gonna be going live Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then I'll be back live Sunday. So make sure you guys keep Pops company as he holds it down while I go get content and whatnot, and go get interviews and content at the fights and things like that. So yeah, man, check it out. Yeah, man, Tommy, AC is crazy. I could barely sleep last night because my AC went out. So yeah, you need it here in Florida. Otherwise, you're out of luck. You know, so getting that taken care of right now, and just it's kind of cool because, you know, I live pretty far away from where I grew up. I'm back in my original hometown. I'm in Dania Beach, which I don't live in Dania Beach anymore. And oh shit, I don't come around Dania Beach often anymore. But it's gonna be home for a day or two. My where I grew up, my old stomping grounds, you know. But, you know, I want to review that card real quickly while I'm talking to you guys. That Adorno Walters card. See if there's anything we're talking about on there. Because you got, what, Omar Juarez versus Clarence Booth. Jesus Saracho versus Starling Castillo. Okay, some good little fights. Good little fights on the undercard. And the main event is obviously Nicholas Walters versus Joseph Adorno. So that's a great way to kick off the weekend, I feel. Boxing week here on True School Sports, you know, with Adorno versus Walters. Yeah. You mentioned Zotto versus Arsene Goulamirian, man. That's what I'm saying. There's just so much boxing on. Sometimes you gotta write this stuff down, or you can't keep track of it. It's ridiculous. You know. But get your questions in, guys. We here. Hold on. Damn it. My bad. I don't got my stand. Remember, I don't got my normal setup. So if my phone falls, guys, it's my bad. But yeah, get your questions in, man. It could be boxing related, non-boxing related. We here, the untouchable. That's what I'm saying, Al, right? Like last week, not a ton going on. The week before that, like these last 2 weeks, these lives have actually been a little difficult. Just because there hasn't been a ton going on in the boxing. So, you know, we've had fun, we've improvised, we played video games, we talked shit, you know. But I just don't understand why do boxers and promoters and networks, like, it really pisses me off when everyone, like, you get like 3 major promoters and then like 4 or 5 mid-level promoters, and they want to throw all their cards on the same day. Like, damn, don't y'all want to have an audience? Like, it's bad enough boxing has to, in America, right? Boxing got to compete against baseball, basketball, hockey, college sports, UFC, Formula One, NASCAR. But then now y'all gonna create even more competition. So let's just say the boxing audience is a pie. Just imagine it as a pie, right? Boxing viewership is a pie. You're going to split the pie into, what, 7 pieces? You know, some people will watch Top Rank, some people will watch The Zone, some people will watch, you know, PBC. Some people are going to watch fights in the local area. Some boxing fans may not watch anything. So it's like, it's a lot. It makes no sense to me sometimes. Shout out to the following star. He says, will it just go downhill for Canelo in terms of performance going forward, BT? I mean, yeah. I mean, that's inevitable. I mean, he's been boxing since he's 15. And there's a lot of wear and tear on that body. I want to make you guys understand something. It's not always about how old a fighter is on paper. It's really more so about their wear and tear. What kind of wear and tear do they have on their body? How many tough fights have they been in? How many rounds have they boxed? How many training camps have they been in? You know, all these things play a factor. Had they lived the life of a fighter? You know, do they have any vices outside the ring, like, such as drugs or women or anything like that? You know, these things all play a role into a fighter's longevity, right? So I feel like, yeah, Canelo is gonna slip at some point. It's just the nature of it. Father Time is undefeated, as they say, and that's just how it's gonna go. DJ says, I'm quietly expecting Mendoza to be better after this fight with Tim. Nothing like fighting for the belt you never technically lost. Exactly. And not just that. He had a unique experience because not only did he fight Tim, but like he was for those of you who don't know, Brian Mendoza was Tim Tszyu's sparring partner for this fight. They were in camp together. So it's like you know, not only do you get a chance to fight the guy and whatnot, but you to be in camp with them and then to get that level of sparring to keep you sharp every day, that can't do nothing but bode well for Brian Mendoza going forward. So yeah, man, I like Boachuk a lot. I think Boachuk's a very good fighter. I actually interviewed Boachuk. I'm gonna drop the interview after this live is done. I'm gonna work on the interview and try to get it out as soon as possible because it's fight week and we did a really good interview and he's very confident and as he should be. You know, he's been knocking out everybody since his loss to Brendan Adams. And look, it's a great fight. I don't think Boachuk has ever fought anybody this explosive like a Brian Mendoza, and I don't think Mendoza has fought, you know, maybe apart from Tim Tszyu, I don't think he's fought anybody you could say is this level of technical. You know, he's got that, you know, Boachuk has that technical Ukrainian style, but he's kind of blended it with the Mexican principles of volume punching and picking them shots, making them count. Because, you know, Boachuk's has trained under a lot of Mexican trainers. For those of you who don't know, when he first got to the States many years ago, Boachuk trained with Abel Sanchez in Big Bear, California. With Golovkin. He was in camp with Golovkin and all them. Right? So that's one Mexican trainer. And then now he's at Manny Robles. You know, great Mexican trainer. A guy that understands that style and teaches it very, very well. So he's a very unique style, Boachuk. And I feel, honestly, I know Fundora versus Tszyu is a great fight. As far as entertainment, I know Rolly versus Pitbull is a fight a lot of people are excited about. But for me, the fight on the card is Mendoza versus Boachuk. That's the fight I'm looking forward to the most. That's the fight that gets my boxing juices flowing and gets my boxing juices pumping, you know? So we'll see how it goes. Tony says, is Top Rank for sale? If so, who is likely the buyer? Well, I remember... I could be wrong, but I think when I was talking to Rick, or there was a report that came out that was saying that the Perform Group, the people that own like UFC and WWE, that they were gonna buy Top Rank. I'm not sure how true that still is, but that was what I remember being reported, and we'll see how it goes, man. Like as they say in life, you know, all good things must come to an end. So, you know, Bob Arum's been at it for a number of years, and eventually. Things go in phases, you know. Things go in cycles. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. But make sure y'all smash that like button. It's your boy BT, the untouchable True School Sports Empire. We here, live in full effect. 66 days, 2/3 of the way through. I can't believe it. Can y'all believe it? Let me know too, guys. Like, give me your honest opinion. Like, what have you guys thought about me going live every day? Because I feel like I've never gone live this many times in a row. I feel like throughout me going live every single day, you guys have kind of gotten a chance to know me better. I've been able to show a little bit more of my personality more just because I feel like sometimes there's nothing going on in boxing, so I got to talk about other things besides boxing. But how have you guys been enjoying it, man? I feel like this has been a great journey. There's still great lives coming up, and yeah. How do you feel about Golden Boy padding their fighters' records? Padding fighters' records goes on at every level of boxing. Club show boxing, championship level boxing. What I'll say about Golden Boy is, what I'll say about when you get to that level, you know, when you get to the level of big time boxing meaning networks, meaning, you know, exposure on big platforms. Once you get to that level, there's obviously a degree of matchmaking that has to be done so that the A-side fighters can get the best chance to win. That's just how the promoters want it done, and that's how it's been forever. But the level of padding, of the records that Golden Boy is going to is showing right now with Virgil Ortiz is disgraceful. Virgil Ortiz is good enough on his own. He doesn't need to fight Frederick Lawson. He doesn't need to fight, you know, the Delormes of the world. He's good enough on his own to be fighting guys in the top 15. You know, legitimate top 15, top 10 credible guys. And I really hate what they're doing, and I really hope that this is not the beginning of stagnation in his career, because I would hate to see that. And then look at a guy like Williams Peta. Much respect to the British Warrior Maxie Hughes. I love Maxie Hughes. He's an overachiever. But Maxie Hughes, we all knew that was a mismatch. We all knew that was a fight that he couldn't win just because of the style. So obviously, look, Golden Boy's got great They got great boxing people with Eric Gomez and Oscar De La Hoya and Bernard. These guys know boxing. You can't say otherwise. They know boxing. But I think their level of protecting their fighters has gone a bit too far with the recent matchmaking of Virgil Ortiz. That's my opinion. Now you got Alexis Rocha just fighting Frederick Lawson, who Virgil just fought. So it's a sad state of affairs. But that's the state of Golden Boy right now. Golden Boy Promotions. When you look at the amount of star fighters they have in comparison to a PBC, in comparison to a Top Rank, generally speaking, they're gonna be a little more cautious just because they really can't afford a loss as much as those people, right? As much as those companies, because PBC, Top Rank, even a Matchroom, they have more fighters to go around. As to where with Golden Boy, they got what? They got Virgil, they got Williams Peta. I mean, name them. You guys name them. They got Floyd Schofield. They got Virgil. And who else? Who's the biggest money making attraction for Golden Boy right now? Ryan Garcia, right? But it's not a lot. They don't got 10 stars. They can just throw in there and afford the one guy to lose. So out of all the big four companies, between Matchroom and all those companies, they're gonna be the most cautious. They got Zordo as well, but they don't got like a solid. In my opinion, they don't got a solid 10. They don't. Like Top Rank, you could say has a solid 10. PBC has a solid like 10 fighters. They don't. He says, I love it, BT. Keep doing these streams. Since Johnny went to jail, you're my #1 boxing analyst. Well, thank you, man. I like Johnny Boy. God bless him, man. I want to find out how I can like write him a letter or something, man. Maybe send him something because Johnny Boy was always cool with me, and I always enjoy his lives, and I always enjoy this content. But thank you, man. Whenever anybody tells me that I'm their favorite channel or one of their favorite channels or I'm one of the best or the best, I always take that with big responsibility. That's why I'm so hard on myself to be the best I can as far as knowing the sport and delivering the best content I can. So yeah. Who has the best matchmaking promotions in as far as major promotions? BT. It's definitely Top Rank. Top Rank, I would say, has the best. After Top Rank, I would probably say it's I don't know. I think Matchroom has the funnest matchmaking, so I would say Matchroom. It'd be 2. Even though Eddie Hearn's fighters get their ass whooped, I mean they get their ass whooped because he puts them in tough. So I like Matchroom's matchmaking is probably the second best from an entertainment standpoint, and then third I'll say PBC, and that's only because PBC doesn't have enough cards. So that's why I kind of punish them. And then Golden Boy, I would say, be 4th. Golden Boy be 4th because they're just obviously padding a lot of these guys' records, like you guys alluded to earlier. Shout out to Hyro. He says, it's because DAZN isn't an established app like Amazon Prime. Tell him, Hyro. PBC Legends here. Yes, sir. Can you confirm or explain the IBF sanctioning rule changes? I'm hearing fighters must make weight the day before and then get weighed in again between 8 and 10 a.m. on fight day and can only be over 10 pounds over. Yeah, so each sanctioning body has different rules, but the strictest and most strenuous rules as far as rehydration is the IBF rules. The IBF has a rule that states that any and all fighters ranked in the top 15 or fighting for a world title must, when they fight, they can't rehydrate above 10 pounds. So, for example, if you're 140, if you fight at 140, you cannot rehydrate above 10 pounds on fight night. And for some fighters, that's a very big deal because, depending on what kind of weight cut you have, if you're a fighter who's really having a sharp weight cut, like you're barely making the weight, you're making it healthily, but it's a tough weight cut, then naturally your body, once you eat and get you, in some cases get IV fluids, once you eat, you're going to rehydrate up to, sometimes 15, 20 pounds. And look, I've been around. I've seen it with my own four eyes. I've been with fighters where I'll give you an example. I'll give you a perfect example actually. I was with Angelo Leo one time. When Angelo Leo fought Aaron Alameda back in 2021 on the Charlo Montiel undercard in Houston. Some of you guys may remember that. I remember that was a very sharp weight cut for Angelo. I mean, he made it 122 on the dot. He was very depleted. I saw him go from being depleted, and then I saw the IVs in his arm, and then I saw him get rehydrated, and then when I saw him eat, it's like there was like two of them. Like it was crazy how much weight a fighter can put on just eating and drinking a little bit. So that's where I know Richardson Hitchens has made a big deal about that recently. And Richardson Hitchens is a fighter that look, my thing is this. If you don't feel comfortable fighting Subriel Matias because of the rehydration clause by the IBF, then I think what you should do is kindly ask to be removed from the rankings, because you're going to fight Gustavo Lemos your next fight. Gustavo Lemos is one of the top-ranked fighters in the IBF. You beat him, and Matias beats Paro. You're going to be right in line for a world title shot. So it's tough, and that's why, like, from a managerial standpoint, because I've always looked at boxing, guys, from a managerial standpoint for years. When I talk about fighters, when I talk about what's next for a fighter, what fight could be next, I always put my shoes in, like, myself in the shoes of, like, them managing as far as what's next. What will be the most advantageous thing to do for a fighter? And I think from a managerial standpoint, like, from the way Richard Hitchens is talking, he needs to just ask to be removed from the IBF rankings, because you go into that ring anything less than your best against Matias, you're getting packed the fuck up. So I know I kind of ranted a little bit there, but that kind of all ties into the whole IBF rehydration clause situation, you know. Shout out to you, Christopher. Thanks for being here on the live. Make sure you smash that like button. Shout out to all 17 of you here that are rocking with your boy BT and the untouchable True School Sports Empire. Make sure you hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And definitely, if you like all the content we got going on, and you like the fact that I'm going to Arizona and Vegas, and I'm getting you guys this content, and you've been enjoying these interviews with guys like Philip Hergovich and whatnot, definitely feel free to super chat. You know, I don't beg, but it's there, and it does help a long way. So, even though Dalton Smith won on KO, I feel like he is not physically strong at 140. What do you think? I don't think the fight against Zepeda really said too much about whether he was physically strong or not, because if you look at a lot of the shots he was landing, they were shots on the outside, shots at mid-range, counter punches. So you can't really, like, there's punching power and there's physical strength. Punching power is, you know, what's on those shots when you're punching from mid-range or outside, you know. Physical strength is what a fighter can show when he's in the trenches, when he's chest to chest with a fighter. Can he push them back? I don't think I've really seen too much of Dalton Smith to really gauge his physical strength, but he seems, from what I've seen in this fight and from what I saw when I watched him fight Sam Maxwell one time, he's a guy that I feel like he's a crafty puncher. He likes to counter punch, likes to sharpshoot, has a nice, intelligent 1-2. He likes to fight behind not just a good jab, but a very educated lead probe, which he uses as a rangefinder to gauge and set up with the right hand. That's the fighter he is. But a good fighter. I don't think he's pillow-fisted. I don't think he's like a lot of British fighters. I think he's got a little bit more in his arsenal than other British fighters. Good fighter. Doesn't talk a lot. Doesn't get a lot of hype either, but Dalton Smith can fight. Why doesn't he go another route? I'm sure that's probably what's going to happen. He's ranked in other governing bodies, but right now Richard Hitchens' highest ranking position is the IBF ranking. So he's gonna right now that's the route he's going. But listen, if push comes to shove, he could always ask to be removed from those rankings and go one of the other directions of like the WBO or whatnot, and then maybe if he gets a belt like that, if he fights Matias in the unification fight, then you have more leeway because you have another organization involved, and then you can maybe negotiate that whole 10-pound rehydration clause, you know? This boxing game, man, there's so many layers to it, and I'm learning a lot about it. Like, there's so much I want to tell you guys. I can't say everything right now, but I'm telling you, really soon, guys. There's gonna be a live where I tell you guys about some of the things I've been up to within boxing that had nothing to do with YouTube. Oh my god, I can't wait. Can't wait to tell you. Him and Tio in New York would be nice. Be a good fight. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how that would sell. I know Tio, even though Tio is really from South Florida, he claims he's from New York, which he's not. He grew up in South Florida. More of his fan base is actually here in South Florida, not New York. But it'll be in New York, and Hitchens. I mean, I don't know if Hitchens is a ticket seller. I haven't really seen him fight too many times in New York, so they would have to have that fight at the theater, and I'd question heavily if they could even sell out the theater. But could be a good fight, be a good event, be fun. You know. What are your thoughts on Emir Marcial? Have you watched tapes on him? I feel like I've watched him fight, but I can't remember. I know the name. There's so many fighters, guys. And there's so many fighters in boxing. And I'm telling you guys, I follow boxing on a deep level, so I get fighters mixed up. Where is he from? Because I know his name. I've seen him fight before, but I don't remember right now. It's not ringing a bell. When will you be able to tell us the big news? I will be able to tell you guys the big news within the next week or so, I think. Next week or two. There's a lot I want to say, man. There's so much I want to say. Like all I can say is I'm getting a very big education in boxing right now. Man, you guys think that ducking only goes on in championship boxing? Man, ducking goes on in all levels of boxing. It's ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous. But I'll just leave it at that, because if I start talking, I'll kind of give it away what it's about. So, stay tuned. That'll be a separate live for another day, Is Gary Russell still at 140? I mean, to my knowledge, he still is. I mean, he hasn't. I don't know what. It's crazy how Gary Anton Russell gets a mention on every live. I think God is trying to tell me through you guys that I gotta go reach out to Gary Antoine Russell, because every live somebody mentions Gary Antoine Russell, and I don't get it, but it's cool. I mean, shout out to you guys. You guys are boxing fans. Who would I pick to win between Katie Taylor and Alicia Bumgarner? It's a good fight. Probably lean towards Bumgarner. It all depends on where they fight. Like if they fight in Europe, then Alicia Bumgarner better do the Katie Taylor what she did to Terry Harper, because one thing about it, Katie Taylor don't lose close decisions, Hyro says, BT, can we watch boxing? Boxing is back. Bro, Hyro, I would love to talk to you tonight, man. I gotta really get on my shit, and I got a lot of work to do, man. So I might have to pass tonight, but soon we will. Soon enough we will, Hyro, but not tonight, because it's been a crazy day. The AC in my house went out. I had to come to this hotel. I had to run errands. I had to do some last minute shopping. I had an interview I was supposed to do today with somebody that I couldn't even get to because of all this stuff going on. So I'm pretty pissed. I was pretty pissed about that. It's just a lot of stuff, man. It's a lot of stuff going on in the life of BT. But I'll call you for a couple minutes, Tyra, but before I get to work. But we can't watch boxing today. Are you trying to make a fight, but someone is ducking you? I can't comment on it right now. All I'll tell you guys is there will be a live, and I'll discuss some things. And I think you guys will enjoy it. That's all I'll say. I got to be careful what I say, though, too. But, yeah. Soon enough. Do you really think Sebastian Madura is going to get mowed down by Tim Tszyu? 1,000%. No, zero doubt in my mind about it. Not even a question. Unless Sebastian Madura somehow overwhelms Tim Tszyu, which I don't think he will, or unless Sebastian Madura somehow manages to, mow down. He has to overwhelm him with volume. I don't think he's going to overwhelm him with volume. I think He's gonna give up. He's gonna do what he does best, which is get in the pocket, give up his size, and his liver is gonna be right there, and he's gonna be throwing this wild shit from out here. And like watch, I'm gonna simulate. I'm gonna simulate what's gonna happen to Fundora. Fundura's gonna be in the pocket right here. He's gonna throw an uppercut. He's gonna miss the uppercut. When he misses the uppercut, the liver's gonna be right here. And then Tim Tszyu's gonna come with the counter left hook right to the liver. Watch. It'll be there the whole fight for him. Goodfella Sports TV, shout out to him. Great channel. Make sure you guys go subscribe to him. He's saying they're setting up Tim to have Fundora win the fight. I mean, look, Sebastian Fundora has Samson Lukowicz behind us, so I'm telling you this. If he makes it close enough of a fight, I always say this, and I'm going to continue saying this. This may become a true school catchphrase. Never underestimate the power of Samson Lukowicz and having him in your corner, because he's got a lot of influence in his boxing game. So Tim Tszyu better make sure he goes and wins emphatically. Otherwise, you may see some buffoonery, some tomfoolery. Hyro, watch some hockey. Yes. The Panthers versus the Bruins tomorrow. Yes. In fact, hold on. Let me show you guys. I got my Florida Panthers backpack. Yes, sir. Shout out to the best team in the world, the Panthers. I'll be there. I'll be there tomorrow night. You know. Can't wait. Gonna be one of the biggest games of hockey. LMA, I see what you're saying, but has he fought anyone with volume like a Fundora? Has he fought anyone with volume? No. Let me see. Mendoza, Harrison. I think he fought Jeff Horn. That don't count. Jeff Horn he's bigger than Jeff Horn. Yeah, nobody really. But there's nobody like a Fundora. Fundora is a one-off. He's a freaking stick figure, praying mantis, southpaw who fights in the pocket. There's nobody like him. You can't simulate Sebastian Fundora. You know, I'll tell you this. He fought someone like Tim Tszyu a little bit, and his name was Brian Mendoza. And you know, Tim Tszyu's a little bit better than Brian Mendoza. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. You can't do boxing math, but we'll see how it goes. Hyro says he took a year off. I'm pretty sure his chin is better than Joe Joyce. I highly doubt it. In that case, how do you think Lubin fares against Tszyu? Because Fundora versus Lubin was a barn burner. I think an in-shape, focused Erickson Lubin would give Tim Tszyu a very interesting fight. You know, Lubin is he's a very well-rounded fighter, but that would have been a great fight. But Erickson Lubin wasn't ready for this. He probably could have got this fight with Tim Tszyu, because you guys remember, Lubin was in negotiations to fight Tszyu before they made the Thurman fight. And I was just at the gym that Lubin used to train at, talking to one of my buddies down there, and he was pretty much saying that Lubin wasn't in shape to take the fight once Thurman fell out. So that's on him. Hyro says Crawford is coming back to outshine Inoue like always. Yeah, man, you hate Inoue. You're a little prejudiced towards the Japanese fighters. Tony Harrison is pretty tall. Yeah, but Tony Harrison, he's more of like a classic boxer. You know, he's a guy who likes to, you know, be pretty. He likes to be cute. You know, likes to jab, slip, counter. That's the kind of fighter Tony Harrison is. You feel me? Fundora is going to be right here, and he's going to be like this and like that, and he's going to break all the rules. Hyro says, if I were to go to Vegas, how hard is it to get a ticket to PBC? It's not hard at all. It's actually quite easy. You know? Like, it's like what's his name? It's like Calvin Ford told Rolly at the Tank press conference. Just show up, you know? Let's go. That's right, Sean. Everyone show your respect to Sean Zattel in the comments. Sean, I'm gonna call you when this live is done. I'm almost done because I saw your call. You called me right when the live started. But Sean, yes, Tupac has been vindicated. P. Diddy, take your ass to jail. He's going to jail. He's getting investigated. Thought he could fuck with Tupac. You know? Like the good book says, all right? What's done in the dark will always come to light. You know what I'm saying? Thank the Lord. For those of you who don't know, P. Diddy got caught. He got caught because they raided his house and he's under investigation for, you know, a bunch of stuff that Ryan Garcia was talking about. And I'll just leave it at that because I don't want YouTube demonetizing me. But yeah, man, vindication for Tupac. Machiavelli at the dawn. That's right. That's right. It ain't easy being me. Will I see the penitentiary or will I stay free? Thank the Lord. Sean Tatel needs to do the Z cap. Yeah, man. You know, Sean, man, I'll be in Vegas soon, man. You got to be part of the 90 days of boxing journey, man. So hopefully one of those days when I'm in Vegas, maybe after Fundora Zoo when things calm down a little bit, you know, shit, we go live together. Get you on a live. I'm sure people would like to see Sean Tatel. We all love Sean Tatel, and I'll tell you like this, man. If you don't love Sean Tatel, you don't fucking love boxing. That's just how it is, you know. I'm gonna say it like that. What are Pop's thoughts on the ghost Frank Martin? He was going off on Frank Martin the other night. I don't know why, but my dad's still angry that Frank Martin dug Shakur Stevenson. So, you know, Pops was letting Frank Martin have it the other night. So, you know, I like Frank Martin. I like the Tank Frank Martin fight. I mean, they could have did a lot worse. When you talk about Tank, who I like Gervonta Davis. I've grown to really like Gervonta Davis as far as like covering him and stuff. I've grown to like it. You know, I've been to like 3 of his media days and whatnot, and I've had, for whatever the case may be, good experiences with Gervonta Davis. I know not everybody has good experiences with Gervonta Davis, but I have. And he could have cherry picked another 30-pounder or done that. But I'm good. Thank the Lord. He's fighting a legitimate, credible, explosive, black, you know, let's call it right, explosive, athletic, black, lightweight. Because everybody always says Tank don't fight black people. So, you know, thank the Lord. What can you compare Carr versus Tim in terms of legacy fight for Crawford? I would say it'd be one of the biggest legacy fights of his career. I mean, obviously the Spence fight is the fight because of everything that went into it throughout the years. But to me, that would go on right at number 2 for the biggest fight of Crawford's career, legacy-wise. You know, it'd be his chance to take the O of a guy who is really, his stock is really high in boxing right now. His chance to become a 4-division champion and just continue to put the icing on the cake of what's been a great career. Were you ever able to see some sparring sessions when he was the trainer at Contenders Gym? Talking about Tank? No, I didn't go down there when he was down here for that. I was out of town most of the time. But listen, man, I got eyeballs everywhere in the boxing game, you know. So I heard a lot about I've heard about his sparring sessions down there with Otabek Komatov and other fighters down there. I never seen Tank spar. I've seen Shakur Stevenson spar, but I never seen Tank spar. I've seen a lot of these guys work. I've seen Devin spar. I've seen a lot of these guys work, but never Gervonta. Haven't had that privilege yet. I think maybe one day I will, but not as of yet. I would say it's way better than Inoue fighting an inactive Stephen Fulton and moving fight dates. You can't complain about Stephen Fulton being inactive, Hyro. He's a PBC fighter. When you're with PBC, when you're with freaking PBC, that's part and parcel of being a PBC fighter. So, you know, I don't know why why are you using inactivity as a speaking point, Harold? That is not a proper speaking point when it comes to PBC, because that's part of the culture. Oh, here we go. Shout out to Pradeep Singh with the $10 super chat. Thank you, champ. I appreciate you, and I appreciate everyone's contributions here. You know, because y'all to put your hard-earned money, you know, just to hear my boxing opinions. That means a lot to me. So thank you so much. He says, shout out to True School, the only school that's got the best pop and son in boxing. BT, what are your thoughts on Gilberto versus Arsenal Goulamirian and Rolly versus Pitbull? Thank you so much for the super chat and the questions. As far as Zoro versus Arsen Goulamirian, I actually had a chance to watch the little face-off they did. Golden Boy did their boot. Bro, I gotta tip my cap to Max Kellerman because ever since Max Kellerman did the whole face-to-face thing, everyone's copying what he did. You know, the guy with the zone with Chris Mannix. Everyone's copied that whole, sit down, presenter in the middle, fight on the left, fight on the right, formula. And Golden Boy just did it recently with some Mexican dude I never heard of. And Zoro and Goulamirian. It was really not the most entertaining thing in the world. But it's a good fight. Goulamirian, extremely strong. I mean, very strong. Full-fledged cruiserweight. Zoro only had one fight at cruiserweight, but he fought a guy that was light heavyweight at cruiserweight like him. So this is a big test for Zoro because Goulamirian is probably the first cruiserweight he's fighting, like real legit full-fledged cruiserweight he's fighting in a title. And I would like to believe, Goulamirian has had all kinds of issues, PED issues, promotional issues, management issues. He's been very overlooked, very overshadowed over the years in boxing, and I never just not even talked about. One of the least talked about champions in boxing. So I think Zoro's gonna have a real fight on his hands. Honestly, he's with Julian Chua, which I'm not trying to down no trainers. Respect to everybody in this boxing game trying to make it and try to carve the niche in the sport. But like a lot of times I notice with Julian Chua fighters is that he tends to train him a certain way, like. And I feel like I don't know what his like training philosophies are, but I just feel like when I've seen Julian Chua train like Regis Prograis or be part of camps, fighters generally tend to have not their best performances. We'll just say that. So I'm actually gonna slightly go with Goulamirian on that one. Tough fight though, but good fight. I like Zoro. I'm a Zoro fan, so I like to see Zoro win and do what Canelo never tried to do, which is become the cruiserweight champion. As far as Rolly versus Pitbull, I really, really like Rolly a lot. I want Roy to win that fight badly. I'm very curious to see how Roy looks with a more conventional coach. Ismael Salas comes from that Cuban regimented style. I don't know if that'll work with Rolly. I like Isaac Cruz in that fight. Even though I want Isaac Cruz to get beat up, but just being unbiased for a second, I think Isaac Cruz beats Rolly. But hopefully, please be wrong. I want to be dead wrong with that one. So those are my thoughts. Hyro says you never seen Goulamirian fight Riyad Miri exposed. How do you know that, Hyro? You barely talk to me. How do you know that? How do you know I haven't watched him? But Pradeep, thank you for the super chat. I see Benavidez is training at the Box Sergeant. That's cool to see him training down in Miami. Yeah, he spawned one of the kids from this gym that I train at a couple weeks ago. I don't know how long he'll be here, but if he's still here when I get back from all my trips, I'll love to maybe get down there and talk to him. Give him a real interview. What are your thoughts on Teddy Atlas? I like Teddy Atlas. And it's funny enough, that's actually somebody that I never had the honor to speak to Teddy. But I would love to talk to him. I'd love to get him on the channel. So, there's only 24 hours in a day. I only got so much time in a day. But there's so many people in boxing I want to interview. But I'm only one man, so I got to manage my energy, my time really effectively. So, hopefully at some point soon we get Teddy on the channel for you guys. I think that'd be a very beautiful and fruitful conversation. True School and Teddy Atlas. What do y'all think? What say you guys? Because I asked you before, you cruiserweight is a low-key division. Yeah, but you didn't ask me last time we spoke. So you don't and you don't know what I've been watching recently. So you shouldn't assume things, Hyro. Because you know what they say about assumptions, Hyro. You can make an ass out of yourself by assuming. So don't do that, champ. Don't play yourself. Respect yourself. Also, have you seen that Earl Spence may be linking with Calvin Ford as a trainer? I think Spence can make another run and become unified champion. I didn't see that, but I'm not a fan. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a fan of Earl Spence canning Derrick James. everyone's shitting on Derek James. Everyone's, got all these bad things about say about Derek James because Derek James has lost some fights. Man, honestly, this is why I can't hate. This is why I can't fully hate on Canelo because look, he lost fights. He got exposed badly, plenty of times, more than we can count. All right, but he never left Eddie Reynoso. Errol Spence get his ass beat one time. All right, one time he gets his ass beat. Gets rid of the guy that made him who he is in boxing. I don't like that shit, man. I'm very big on loyalty. I'm very big on, I understand, on a case-by-case basis, it's different. Sometimes it's going to be necessary to change things. But I feel Errol Spence's style is a style. He ain't going to really change too much. And, I like Calvin Ford, I like Calvin Ford. He's a great trainer, great guy. But I don't think he's the guy that fully turned it around. Shout out to my man Don Shada. Good to see you, Donovan. What's good, man? Hope all is well. I haven't heard from you in a little bit, but good to hear from you in the chat. Hope all is well. God bless you and hope you're well. He says, BT, there was a lot more behind it. I'll text you all the info on it. It was more so on Derek James. Okay, well look, I'm looking forward to learning about it. Definitely. I would say, look, the only thing I could say from the Errol Spence, just being unbiased, I could see a scenario where maybe he feels he wasn't getting the proper attention because Derek James started taking on a lot of fighters. He had Anthony Joshua, had Ryan Garcia, he's got Frank Martin. So maybe he got to a stage where he wasn't getting the best out of his training in his camps because of all the other attention all the other guys are getting. I could see that, but I mean, other than that, I don't see why he believed Derek James other than he got his ass over Terrence Crawford. I mean, apparently Derek James is suing Errol Spence because he wasn't paying a percentage. It was only on Errol Spence bouts. Oh, it had to do with money. Okay, no, that's no different than when Evander Holyfield was with Emmanuel Stewart. If you guys remember, Evander Holyfield had Emmanuel Stewart in his corner for the Riddick Bowe rematch, and he won that fight. And that was, he did a good job in that fight. Emmanuel had him firing on all cylinders that fight to give him the best chance to win. And Evander didn't want to pay Emmanuel a certain amount of money. It was similar thing to what you guys are saying. I remember I asked Evander about it on here, was it 5 years ago when I did that interview, and he broke it down for me. So it sounds kind of similar from what I'm hearing from you guys. But, yeah. But shout out to everybody here, man. We're 67 minutes in, so I'm making it even 70. We'll go 3 more minutes, and then I'm gonna get out of here because I gotta make 2 phone calls and then get to work. So yeah, leave your comments down below. Subscribe, super chat. We here. 66 days, number 66, like Mario Lemieux. We here, making it do what it do. We went live in hotels. We went live in different states. I mean, we were Florida, Cali, Vegas, New York. Then in like 5 different states. By the time I get to Arizona, it'll be 5 different states since we started this thing. He says, BT, I'm outside the window. Look behind you in the curtain. Nah, man. You can't get through. You can't get the hotel I'm in. We got top flight security of the world. You're not finding BT. Shout out to Corey Lee Boxing. God bless Corey Lee. Good to see you. He says, I think Spence fighting only 2 southpaws facing Crawford didn't help Spence. Yeah, I mean, look, I just think I always thought for years Errol Spence's style, it was too textbook. It was too regimented. It was too disciplined, Terrence Crawford is such a great counterpuncher and great at punching on the move, making adjustments. It was always going to go wrong for him. And there's no shame in losing to a great fighter like Terrence Crawford. There isn't. Could we get Errol Spence? Can Errol Spence get active? And Errol Spence will never fight on Pro Box. Pro Box don't have anywhere near the pay grade of Errol Spence to get him on Pro Box. So get that out your head, Hyro. That's never happening. Is it hard to get a press pass? For me, it depends on who the promoter is. For the most part, I have good luck for the most part. But guys, look, it's been a pleasure as always. I appreciate everybody who chimed in and made this last hour or so go by very quickly. I got a very eventful, 48 hours coming up, so I gotta be very productive. I gotta make some phone calls. I gotta get this content out. I'm gonna tell you guys this. I'm gonna give you guys an early heads up. I did a 22-minute interview with Sergey Bohachuk a couple days ago. I haven't edited the interview or posted it yet. I'm gonna edit it and I'm gonna post it within the next couple of hours. So be on the lookout for it. It'll be out. And yeah, like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.